with me, your host, Sophia. And today is going to be a solo episode about solo travel. So I'm talking to you women who, well, you haven't actually solo traveled and it's something that you want to get into, but maybe you're a little bit scared. So I have to tell you that most of the travel that I have done has been solo. Why? Because a lot of the times when I had the time and the money, none of my friends actually had the time and or the money to go with me. So I said to myself, Self, are you going to miss out on an opportunity to go see another country and to really just explore and learn about another culture just because nobody can go with you? And Self always came back with, hell no. And so, hence, I would travel solo. And honestly, I've really enjoyed all of my travels that have been solo. And so, there are a few different ways to travel solo. So, I used to just plan a trip and just go have the adventure. And, maybe when I'm in the location, I might decide to do a tour. And actually, that's something I do like to do when I get to a new place is do a city tour so I can, or a hop on, hop off bus so I can see the lay of the land and see, where I might want to go back to. So I've done a lot of that, and I think that's really a good idea, especially if you want that extra adventure of just truly being on your own and seeing what's there to be seen and meeting who's there to meet. Because let me tell you, a lot of times when I have traveled, I have met so many amazing, kind people. And so I am one to get lost. And I shouldn't put that into the universe, but I am just making it, I'm stating a fact. That is, that's just how it works for me sometimes. And every single time I have been lost in another country, I have gotten just the most amazing people to give me directions so that I could get back to or find that location that I was supposed to be going to. And it just really, in those moments, reaffirmed the humanity that exists. Because I know, especially in these times, we hear so much about lack of humanity, lack of kindness, lack of careness, caring, that if you're just in that bubble, then you can assume that that's how the whole world is and that's how everybody's going to act. But that's not true. That is not true at all. I mean, you hear these things but when you're boots on the ground, you just meet amazing people. So another way that I have done solo travel, and that's been more recently, is to go with not a to to just have um a planned itinerary from well, when I did it with another agency. And they had, you know, planned itineraries that you could go on. So I did that when I went to Morocco. I had my own driver, and for each place we stopped, I had my own guide. So yeah, I was traveling solo. Was I around people? Yes. Did I have like I said, I had my personal driver? Yes. But it was still solo travel because I didn't go with anybody. I went with Sophia and we had a good time. So, like I said, every location, I had a guide to show me around, and it was amazing because since I was traveling with myself, I got a chance to get a little bit off the beaten path because on our way from one location to another, I could always say, "Hey, can we stop here? Can we go there?" And so, just as an example, when I was in Morocco on this trip, I love to go to the grocery store. That's just that's just my jam. When I travel, I go to a new location. I like to go to the grocery store because it gives me insight into the people. When you look at what is in the grocery store and you see what the locals are eating, it just sort of gives you just a little bit more insight into the culture. And so I love doing that. And of course, I like trying new things. So I'm always finding something new in the grocery store that I can try. So I asked my driver, it's like, hey, before we leave, can can I just go? Can we take me to the grocery store? He's like, sure. So we went and I was able to look around, see what some of the local foods were, some of the local snacks, and of course, picked up water, fruit. And in there, I was also able to get um, argan oil for less expensive than I would have ever found it in a tourist area. And so there are two kinds of argan oil. So I got the cooking version in the store, but then they also have the beauty version as well. And again, a lot less expensive than the touristy areas that you go through. So that was a perk for me because had I been traveling with somebody else who didn't want to go to the grocery store, I might have had to postpone or not go or whatever. But no, I got to do exactly what I wanted to do and I had an experience that I wanted to have. And at the end of the day, it really is the experience that you're going for. So the third way to travel solo, which technically isn't solo, but kind of, is to go with a group. So you're going with a group of people that you don't know. So technically, yes, you are going solo because you're traveling on your own and you're meeting strangers so that you can all do the same thing in the same place. And then you have kind of like a built-in little support system because if all the people are strangers, then you get a chance to get to know people. And it's a really good experience. So that's also something to try if you're not ready to jump right in on your first solo trip and just throw caution to the wind and go explore, then going with a group of people who want to go where you want to go is an alternative. So, for example, I wanted to go to Iceland and I saw a trip come up. It was a yoga retreat. Now, I'm no huge yogi, but they were going where I wanted to go and the price was right. So I was like, well, it'll be cool to go on a retreat. And it's okay that I don't know anybody. We're going to Iceland. That's where I want to go. So that's also another option. So there are some common questions and concerns that I hear. And one of them is, will I feel out of place? Am I going to feel awkward dining alone? And is it safe? So, to the first one, no, you're not going to feel out of place because chances are you're more self conscious thinking that other people are thinking about you. And chances are nobody's really thinking about you. All that awkwardness is all you and it's in your head. And you get to fit in. Or, and maybe fitting is not the right term to use, but you get to walk in stride in your courage, in your purpose, in all of you, and just be who you are. And would take care of the awkwardness and then not feeling like you belong. So you just, I guess what I'm trying to say is if you're just walking along, like, and just being there, like you would be there at home, then that's all you need to do. Now, with the dining part, the dining alone, that was a little awkward for me at first. And I got over it really fast because I know there were a few times, like on a trip I taken to South America, one of the hotels I stayed in, they had a buffet. And when I got up to go get my food, I came back and there are people sitting at my table because they didn't know anybody was there. So, resourceful, real quick, I learned bring a book because obviously I'm not going to leave my purse or anything valuable sitting on the table. So I bring a book, and that would let people know somebody's already occupying this space. So that was how, one of the ways I got around that. And I figured, I got to eat, and chances are nobody's paying attention. And the other thing that was really cool is that there were times when I actually really had to step out of my comfort zone. And then I'd ask somebody if I could sit with them. And I had never gotten to know. So if you're not somebody who is the social butterfly who's always going up and talking to everybody and just that bubbly energy all over the place person, then this is a good way to really start inching out of your comfort zone and doing the things that you wouldn't necessarily do at home. So, once again, problem solved. I brought a book. And and also, like I said, got a chance to really step into that woman who is confident enough to say, "Hey, can I sit with you?" And again, never got to know. And I met some of the most amazing people that way and had some really great conversations that I would not have had if I've just been sitting alone and keeping my face in the book that I brought to keep my spot because I do love to read. So that was another way of letting people know that I'm open to conversation and open to being approached. So, again, if you're a first time solo traveler, just some things to consider. And then the other question I get a lot is it safe? Now, as a woman traveling alone, it is, I can't, it depends on where you go and when you go and what you consider safe. Because for some people, safe means one thing, and you talk to somebody else and safe means something else to them. Now, for me, it's like, no, I am not going to a war torn place while they're in the midst of action. I don't need to do that. Other people, that's their adrenaline rush. They want to be there, they want to see it. I'll go later, but I don't need to be in the middle of everything. So either you or your travel advisor can always check the travel advisories and see what color they are. Because if you've never checked on STEP or ROCA, ROCA's for the Canadians, STEP is for the Americans, and it's a free program that you can enroll into when you're going to go travel. And so they will give you travel advisories, and their colors go from green to red. So, as you can imagine, green is go, everything is good. Red, reconsider, you probably don't want to go right now. So, you can always check out their websites and see. Or, again, speak with your travel advisor, and he or she will, have a conversation with you, and you guys can check together. You can talk it through. And it doesn't hurt if your travel advisor kind of helps you along the way, kind of like a little like your coach. Now, I am a certified life coach and I am a travel advisor. So, yes, I can do both. And it can be very helpful and to have somebody walking you through the process so that you can quell your anxieties and take it for what it is. Right. So, again, ahead of time, you're just going to check it out. And are the things that you're going to look at, do I need a visa? How long, do I have to have on my passport? These are things that whether you're traveling solo or in a group or with friends or a loved one, you're going to want to check these things anyway. But I know for solo travelers, sometimes there's such a level of anxiety that these aren't always the things on their list to check, which is why I'm bringing them up now. So, what I would like for you, and yes, I'm talking to my first time solo travelers who might be a little bit anxious about it, just consider this. It's the ultimate self care. It's your personal power to just do it and build that muscle, build that confidence that you can travel on your own and have an amazing time. And honestly, there is a level of freedom to traveling solo that is so amazing because here's the thing, you're doing what you want to do, you're doing it when you want to do it, you're doing it on your own schedule, and there's no compromise. And, you could have a day when you say, you know what, I had things planned for today, but I don't really feel like doing it. And so don't, or switch it up. You know, you can do the thing you were going to do on Tuesday, do it on Wednesday. The thing you were going to do on Wednesday, do it on Tuesday. You have that freedom, you have that control to do whatever it is you want because you're with yourself. And if you want to self reflect and see how you are changing, see who you're becoming, then journal about it. Because let me tell you, there is nothing like travel in general to let you know who you are and how you react in certain situations. But when you're with yourself and you're the one that you get to rely on, you really get to see all of who you are, uh, every kind of way you react, how you quell anxiety, how you self soothe. You Solo travel is just a beautiful way to get to know yourself better. So anyway, I'm going to leave you with this. If you're ready for your first solo trip, send me a DM. I would love to help you plan it, walk you through it from pre to post trip. And I'd also love for you to follow me on Facebook. You can find me at Sophia E. On Instagram, you will find me two places at Create Life Your Way and Sophia I Got IG. There's a story there. You can actually go back in one of my previous podcasts to hear that story. And I'm also on LinkedIn. So you can find me on LinkedIn too at Sophia Alcock. In any of the ways that you choose to contact me, I will be so happy to hear from you. So until the next time, we'll talk soon. All right. Bye.